at any time as we go through, if you want me to repeat the question, please do so, because I know that we can get lost sometimes, so please don't hesitate to ask. The question is, tourism in Bristol will increase greatly over the next 2 to 3 years with the addition of the Birthplace of Country Music Museum, retail developments, special events, and additional hotels. Do you support providing funding for tourism promotion?
I believe that in our budget, we are currently providing that. I believe this year it was increased to $175,000, I believe, that we're doing now. I think that as Exit 74 comes in, and with the museum, we are going to need that and to help promote it. I think as a city, going back to our technology on our website, a lot of things that we could do ourselves that we're not doing now. But I believe that is a key component of bringing people to our area and spending their money. So I'm not sure if to the extent that we are paying out now, but I would support that.
I support our local dollars going towards tourism. We do have many opportunities now. We work with the chamber. We help finance their package for tourism. We have the Birthplace of Country Music Museum coming in. We have Exit 74. We do need to get the word out. We have been branded last couple of years with being the Birthplace of Country Music. That's a big deal. As our tax dollars are used for tourism, we will get them back when the people come eat in our restaurants, sleep in our hotels and hotels, which we do have a new hotel going down by Exit 74 right now. And yes, I support the tax dollars going towards tourism.
Of course I support funding of tourism projects. Folks, let me just take you back about 15 years. That's how long I've been on council. Some folks may think that's too long. I don't know. I know there's term limits every 4 years when I run for re-election. You can vote for me or you cannot. But let's go back to 15 years ago. We had an Ignite process, and that's what got me involved and got me wanting to run for city council. When the community kind of came together in Bristol, and a lot of you were here then, and said, you know, city government, if you're not going to do anything with this community, would you mind if we do? And some of us got involved, Mark. Me, other folks got involved, and there was a whole list of things that the community wanted. Library, train station redone, a vibrant downtown, shops, restaurant. Go down the list. We've been ticking them off. Farmers market, got that. Train station, got that. Shops and cafes, got that. Beautified downtown, got that. We've created the destination that folks want to come to. We can't, Wayne Estes, we can't just depend on the speedway to carry us through. As much as that helps us, as much as it helps all of us. Rhythm and Rooters has created the 3rd race weekend of the year. It's huge. Fills up every hotel around. So obviously, putting some seed money into these projects has paid off for Bristol. When the Birthplace of Country Music Museum opens next year, you're going to see that continue. Then there's going to be a reason to build that downtown hotel. There's going to be a reason to do some more projects downtown. We've got the kind of community right now that others are envious of. It's paying off in tourism. Just ask the folks at the Convention and Visitors Bureau. Show them the numbers. I've served on that board. I've served on the Believe in Bristol board. Ask them the numbers. Get them to show you the facts, where we were and where we are right now.
I fully support the arts. I fully support tourism for economic development. I had the opportunity to meet with another member of the BCM board, and what they expressed to me was something that I had learned several years ago. I'm a past president of the Junior League of Bristol, and our mission is to create new projects in Bristol. I work to help develop affordable child care building blocks. I helped with the YW program years ago, and here's the deal. is that you do a needs assessment, you determine what the needs are, you develop a strategic plan, and you work the plan. You revisit that plan after the first year to see how it needs to be tweaked and refined. The second year, you make sure it's running on all pistons. The third year, you begin to determine how you are going to set that into the private sector. The member of the BCM board that I spoke with said that we should not always be so dependent on the local government to constantly undergird the projects that we have, that there's a lot of private support here for those programs. I would propose to you that yes, let the city help to develop the infrastructure. Yes, let the city help to contribute to tourism through economic development through tourism. Yes, but then we have to have a plan so that when the project gets to a certain point, it is sustainable through the private sector. And I was asked by this particular board member to make it clear that when I was on city council, that we knew when as a city to step back. And that the expectation should always be that yes, to support new and up and coming projects, but that eventually it has to be turned over to the private sector because the city can't underwrite everything.
Well, as a challenger, I don't quite know how much money's in the kitty, but I believe we need to do things in a thoughtful and sustainable way. The best example that I'm aware of that's been growing is the Art Divine, which is a art crawl. I'd like to see this on a more often basis than a less often basis, bringing in artists from King and BI and showing off our local artisans and having folks stop by and maybe visit for a day or two, make this a weekend place to stay. Secondly, I think that we need to look at South Creek, Still Creek, I'm sorry, and expand that, and because that really falls hand in hand with the Cabela's and Bass Pro Shop. I think we need to, that could be exploited in a tremendous fashion. And finally, if there was, and I can't quite figure this out because I've been reviewing the minutes of the town council, if there is oversight of the boards and councils, I'd like some of those summations to be within the meeting so that stupid folks like myself can sort that out and see where you are at the end of something that you've set up. In other words, just be a systematic review. Once you launch some project, if you involve yourself in that project and you do so from a town council perspective, it's clear of your involvement.
I think that we have a lot of positive things going on in Bristol when it comes to tourism. And I do believe that it does need to, that we do need to keep the budget where it is, or maybe even take it up a little bit. Being in marketing and advertising itself, I can tell you that we probably need to do a little bit better job of web development. I think that's been mentioned. A website can actually steer tourists into other sectors, other business sectors of our economy. So in marketing Bristol to the country, in marketing Bristol actually to the world, I think it's critical that our web looks right, and I think that it's critical that our advertising and marketing is done in a cohesive and consistent effort. But I do support it.
Thank you very much. And I too support it, and I think maybe the question refers more directly to our Convention and Visitors Bureau maybe, and how much tourism dollars, and that's our main marketing arm. Everybody else does some of their own, but we certainly have supported all the things, the Birthplace Country Music, Rhythm and Roots, Paramount, Believe in Bristol, our downtown improvements. We support the race, Steel Creek Park, lots of different things happening. What we need to remember is that we are coming out of a recession, and also prior to that, Bristol was coming from behind. When I first came on council, when we first moved to Bristol, which was quite a bit of time before I came on council, we did not know who we were. We had been the shopping center of Southwest Virginia. We lost that. We didn't know who we were. The racetrack grew at a pace that it took us a little while to catch up and get our arms around it to realize we're a racing town. But that took us a little while to do that. The birthplace of country music, the folks who worked on it for several years before people started saying, hey, we're the birthplace of country music. We now have kids who are proud of it. We have people who are proud that their families were part of our heritage and history. So we have a limited budget. A lot of stuff that's said here, some of us know, some other things I think out of the group. Jack's the one who has come to more meetings than anybody else. But we have a website that's being redeveloped right now. And it's possible that we were slow to do that because we didn't have a budget to be able to cover everything that we want to cover and everything we needed to cover. But it's in process. That was one of our goals for this year that ends in June. Thank you.
I do support tourism dollars or marketing dollars to support our tourism. Let me share a little bit of a story. As a politician, I know some of us get good at not answering the questions. I want to make sure I answer and then explain a little bit. One of the things I get to do is I work with our operators, and some of them have been operating machines for 30 years. The thing I love to see, I get to ask them some questions, help them identify some opportunities, and then they end up getting together with an engineer. Those two together far exceed what I could do if I just, okay, I'm going to help fix this. My point is, those results that far exceed what I could do, I'm just helping be an advocate, helping them get what they need to do what they're great at. We can do that same thing. These resources in this case is dollars from the city. There's also private dollars. You betcha that Bass Pro and these other folks are going to be marketing, hey, we've got a new store here, come visit us. But we're also going to be doing that. There are other agencies around us who are going to be doing that. And as we do that, I think probably one of our best experts around tourism is our Visitors Bureau. And we have to make sure that we're focused in where that is. Hey, you put the best resources together and try the best value that you can get out of those dollars. And I do like the point that was made too. At some point, it's great to be able to get that into the private sector where you have so much private market that that's what's driving the message.
Thank you. Next up is Dr. Morgan Packer-Gorio. Question is, what projects could you identify in which you would work cooperatively with the city of Bristol, Virginia?
Well, we just talked, I think, about the Bass Pro Shop and the Cabela's and Outdoors in Steel Creek. So I think that getting the voice out that we literally are, like George Clooney said, the geographic center of the universe, in a very nice place, located on Nutrient Artery 81, and getting folks to come here and vacation here and enjoy not just the mountains, but I'm told that you can do kayaking around here, and the fishing here is very nice. And so if we could make this expand the Holstons in terms to other folks, and get folks here, I think we can do that jointly. And I would use those two economic engines that are coming here to help foster that. So I think that would be one thing I would do. The other thing I would focus on the music jointly, which is being done in that fashion. The music is far done. Mumford & Sons was here, and I think we need to push more folks like that to come here and do that jointly. And I see no reason why we can't do that. When I was in the school board at St. Anne's, we had some problems. We couldn't get one diocese and another diocese to come together and fund the central project. It affected both people across the side of the street. But I think we can do that. We've shown that.
I think our downtown Bristol is is a good example of where we have worked with Bristol, Virginia in a good way. I think we can learn from each other. I think our school systems can learn from each other. There's a lot of positives in the Bristol, Virginia school system. There's a lot of positives in the Bristol, Tennessee school system. But downtown is an area that, you know, with our museum, with Rhythm and Roots, with Believe in Bristol, I think Bristol, Virginia, in a lot of aspects, has to be included within our vision. To promote Bristol as a great place to live, involve all business sectors, and I think that's one of the key things that Bristol, Virginia, and Bristol, Tennessee, we are one city. And into the country and in the world, we're only known as Bristol, not necessarily Bristol, Virginia, or Bristol, Tennessee. So the vision, the long-term vision for our city needs to include Bristol, Virginia, and Bristol, Tennessee as one city.
Thank you. It's already been talked about that there are lots of ways that we already do work together with downtown, with the Birthplace of Country Music, with the Convention and Visitors Bureau, the Chamber. We work together where everybody contributes. Also our library and our sewer treatment plant. I serve on the library, and I certainly think that it's pretty awesome. It rated great in our citizen survey. But I agree. I think we could do more with marketing together as one community, and particularly somebody's already mentioned the 1 gigabyte. Both communities are 1 gigabyte, and I think trying to promote that together. But let me also say that the realities sometimes are a whole lot harder, and it's not because people don't want to get along. It's because you get to different state regulations, different things going on, different priorities, and it can be difficult. So you have to work at it, but we do it.
For projects to cooperate with Bristol, Virginia, one unique thing about our library system is the way that Tennessee funds it. There are some strengths with having Tennessee dollars come in, and then the way that Virginia's funding helps it. It comes at a different, it comes into a different way. So the complement makes our library system very strong. And I like that opportunity, and I think it's great that we have such a substantial impact there right here in downtown with that. Believe in Bristol, I've had the pleasure through Lead Bristol to serve in the Economic Restructuring Committee and work on a small project there at the Community Service Project. As we did, subsequent to that, through some Virginia funding, they've been able to help us with entrepreneurs in the idea space that their office recently relocated on the Virginia side. I think that's a good opportunity because we're seeing people come through that they're not sure which side of the line they might end up on, but they've got some solid ideas and we're helping them find the resources they need to do that. Then also, one thing that we could really benefit from, and we've got pieces of it, and I haven't seen all of it together, but one challenge some of our developers have is the data is on the Tennessee side or on the Virginia side. Our demographics aren't very strong as a region from, let's say, the 9th District of Virginia to the 1st District of Tennessee, and that's something that might be a good selling point as some of the folks look here. So, plus we have some very dynamic differences in how they perform economic development and other things versus our side as a very tiered approach.
Okay. I think as far as projects that, from the marketing standpoint, that we can work better with Bristol, Virginia. I believe that one thing, it has to be equal for both sides of what we are putting in, whether it be marketing or the library, and from a communications, as you were talking on, going back and forth from the cities to cities, we do need some more help there. And I think that from a business development standpoint, they can help each other. I've got friends right now that are looking to be downtown. Our information that they received from City Hall versus the Bristol, Virginia side, it's two different animals. They said, if Bristol, Tennessee had the information that Bristol, Virginia had, and I think that we could work together on projects like that for downtown because it's going to benefit. I was talking to Joe at the Burger Bar today, and he was talking about the election, and he said, listen, I'm on the Virginia side. I said, well, I'm running on the Tennessee side. He said, to me, it doesn't matter. That line down the middle, it's just a line. It's for the downtown, and that we can work together with Bristol, Virginia on some of this.
We have a lot of projects that we do work on with Bristol, Virginia. One of them is downtown flood control. We work with Bristol, Virginia on that with the Army Corps of Engineers to save our downtown. Without the flood control, we won't have a downtown. We use Rhythm and Roots. We use all the music festivals. Munsford and Sons, that was a joint thing. When the cities have to come together, they do. I'm sure there's opportunities for improvement. There's always opportunities for improvement with an organization. And we've been trying to identify these. We sent out surveys and got the results from the surveys that show our weaknesses and our strengths, which we have many of. And we are looking at how we can fix these weaknesses and how we can fix these opportunities of improvement working together. Thank you.
Beth, would you mind to restate the question?
Be glad to. What projects could you identify in which you would work cooperatively with the city of Bristol, Virginia?
Just want to make sure I've got it right there. Don Ashton's in the back there. I've been the liaison between the two cities of Bristol, Tennessee and Bristol, Virginia for years, which means that I go to their council meetings. Every single Tuesday night in the city, the two cities, the community, there's a council meeting. We meet first and third Tuesdays, they meet second and fourth Tuesdays. So I've been to a council meeting every Tuesday night for years. And occasionally I'll have to miss theirs because of work or something. But we've worked very closely together. I was there along with Margaret and Kelly, you're back there, when we were hashing out the plans for a new library. I couldn't tell you how many times I talked with Jerry Wolf and the two of us, tried to, soothe ruffle feathers on both sides of town. Don, I think you'd agree, you don't hesitate to call me if there's something comes up. Over the years, it's been Vicey Dotson or Paul Hurley or Ed Harlow or any of these people from Bristol, Virginia, who I don't think hesitate to pick up the phone and call me. And knowing the individuals involved helps tremendously. There's time in years back where the two cities really didn't get along that well. That's just not the case anymore. We put together 4 government entities when we did the farmers market. We managed to put together Washington County, Virginia, Sullivan County, Tennessee, Bristol, Virginia, all working together. We did that with the train station. That had been done before with the Paramount. We jointly fund BCM, we jointly fund Rhythm and Roots, and talk about dollars spent. $25,000 is what Bristol, Tennessee gives each year to Rhythm and Roots to help market and work that festival. Our budget this year is over $1.2 million. So they give that much for a huge festival that benefits economically everybody.
Wow, that's a great group of people, and I know a lot of those people too, and I look forward to working with them across the state line when I'm elected. What projects to work collaboratively on? Well, let me just say, I've raised twins. I have a daughter and a son, they're 24 years old, and I understand the whole dynamics of working with twins. Some days it's his turn, some days it's her turn, but at the end of every day, it's their turn. One has to give when another gets to take, and then they can work together on some projects. I think we've done a beautiful job of working with Bristol Rhythm and Roots. I think we've done a great job in the development of the BCM. I think we've done a fabulous job with the library. I mean, it's beautiful. I think the train station is a jewel in our crown. I think the Paramount is supported by both sides of the street. And we could go on and on and on. And most everyone sitting up here at this table has contributed at one point in time or another. Now, not everybody up here at this table has sat on city council today, but that's the hope. And you've got to admire most everybody sitting up here for wanting to. For Margaret for all of the years that she's put in, and David for all of the years that he's put in. But are there other projects for us to work on collaboratively? You bet. Out West State Street, it needs some help. You go on out towards the mall's in Bristol, Virginia, but it's for both sides of the city. There's still lots of projects out there, and I think we can continue to work together very nicely.
With respect to time, is this going to be the last question, Chelsea? Okay. First up for this question is Mr. Joel Staten.